I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of Veterans Talk. Today we have the American Legion with us, but before we get into that, I'd like to make a few announcements. The first announcement is that Rolling Thunder will be at the fairgrounds from the 2nd to the 12th, doing the Wreaths Across America, doing the wreaths there for that. Also, for Veterans Day, will be held at the Veterans Park this year on November the 11th at 11 o'clock. And we also have a golf tournament coming up on October the 18th. All our sponsors are already gotten. All we need now is some players. So if somebody out there wants to play some golf on October the 18th for a good cause, it's for a homeless shelter that we're doing it for that helps our veterans here in the area. Contact me or the DAV or any of the organizations. They'll let you know what you need to do. Another announcement is that Dorn Hospital will be doing their town hall meeting on November the 8th at 11 o'clock at the library. So if you've got any questions for the VA hospital or something here, you may just go to the Dorn Town Hall meeting on November the 11th or November the 8th at 11 o'clock. And the DAV mobile van will be at the Golden Corral on October the 11th from 9 to 4. So if you're looking for the DAV, their mobile van will be at Golden Corral, October 11th from 9 to 4. Okay, now we have here with us Mr. McIntire, a friend of mine. He's also a Navy guy, so that even makes him even better.
Yeah.
And you're from Post 1, correct?
Yeah, American Legion, Fred H. Sexton, Post 1 here in Florence.
Okay, and you're one of the first posts in Florence, South Carolina, correct?
We were the first post in South Carolina. The American Legion is the world's largest veterans organization. Mm-hmm. They were formed in 1919 by a group of veterans coming back from WW1. Mm-hmm. It just happened to be at the first convention when the representatives of each state started meeting together. Mm-hmm. It just happened to be that Florence got tossed in the mix. Oh. So we ended up with the first post in the state, Goose Creek, along with Columbia, and I want to say Greenville were three of the other locations that they were contemplating. But when the vote came up, Florence happened to be represented first. So we are the first post, formed in 1919 in South Carolina, named after Fred H. Sexton. He was killed in Argonne, France during WW1. He was actually born in Union, South Carolina, but raised in Florence. Okay. And then behind the post building, we actually have a WW1 monument that was put up by members of Post 1 in 1928. Brown Memorial is actually the one that erected that monument, and it's been there ever since.
Now, and the post is located?
Post is located on East Palmetto Street, directly across the street from Sunrise Restaurant, quarter mile west of the flea market on the same side of the road. It's a large green building, sits way back off the road, but we have a sign out front. We meet the second Tuesday of every month from September through May at 7 o'clock. Matter of fact, we have a meeting tonight along with a banquet going on tonight.
And the banquet tonight's for one of the activities you are involved in, or at least your post is involved.
It's one of our Legion programs. The banquet tonight is to recognize the young men and young ladies that went to Boys State and Girls State. What these Boys State and Girls State programs are is it's open to high school students. They go off in July for 1 week to learn all the different aspects about government, participating everything from the local level all the way up to the national level. They take the young men and they put them in groups and give them names of towns. They run for city council, they run for county council, they run for state senate, congressman, they run for governor, and it goes all the way up to the national level. We had, from our post, we had a young man here a couple of years ago that went to Boys State that actually went on to Boys Nation, which takes place in Indianapolis, Indiana. When he came back from Boys Nation, wasn't quite 3 months later, he was picked up by a congressman in D.C. that wanted him to come to work for him as a congressional aide. So tonight we allow the young men and young ladies to come and speak to the Legionnaires and talk about their experience at Boys State and at Girls State and what they learned from it.
All right, now if there's a young man or woman, lady that wanted to get into this, how would they get into it?
If there's a young man that wants to get into it, Judge Gene Moorhead family court judge here in Florence.
Right.
He's our director for the boys state program. The girls state program is headed up by our Legion Auxiliary president, Vicki Gimla. So they can contact her. They can contact myself, and I'll put them in touch with the right people.
Okay.
Generally, we start interviewing the candidates, or Judge Moorhead starts interviewing the candidaes, I believe, in around middle of February in the spring. And once they select all the candidates that are going to go, then they all leave out and they go for a week in July.
Okay.
This year was our largest turnout of Boys State for our post. We ended up having 31 young men that were sponsored through Post 1.
And I also know y'all also have the baseball teams and the Legions.
Have the Legion baseball program, junior and senior league. Last month we had the recognition banquet where we had both teams come in along with their parents, some of the sponsors, the Legionnaires and their spouses, Legion Auxiliary, and we had a big banquet. We had a meal for everybody, and we celebrated both the accomplishments of both the junior team and the senior team. The junior team won state championship again this year. The senior team was first runner-up in the state tournament. And then we also give out awards for MVP players, and then the Jesse Mock Award to the senior league.
Yeah.
So
Y'all have the stadium to yourself now, correct?
we have the stadium to ourselves. We're looking at doing some renovations now that we're by ourselves out there.
Yeah.
And we are accepting donations of materials or monetary funds. There's going to be a fair amount of work that needs to be done. We used to share it with the Red Wolves and Florence Darlington Tech, but now we're on our own.
Right.
So we're going to try to do some upgrades over the winter
Yeah.
and get some things done that need to be done. But this baseball program, we're the second oldest baseball program in the state for the American Legion. We started our program in 1932. Post 1 has been to the state tournament and won the state tournament 3 times now. They won it back-to-back in 43 and 44, and then won it last year. And then the first time in post history, they went on to the Southeast Regional Tournament, won it, and then went to the National World Series and finished 5th overall in the nation.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
not
pretty
bad.
proud of them.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're real good. They're real strong.
Got some good coaches there too.
We've got a very good coach, Derek Urquhart. Derek is actually a former Legion baseball player when he was coming up. He also played in the majors. He played for, I believe, South Carolina during his college years, and then he went on to the major leagues. But due to an injury, he ended up coming back here to teach baseball and ended up coming on board as a coach. And he's been a tremendous asset to us.
And that's a good thing for all these young men around here. You know, as you know, we need to keep them active with activities like this because we're building our future with these young people.
Well, and with the Legion baseball program, we've had several players that once they get to the cap where they can no longer play on the Legion baseball team, they've been picked up by colleges. Some of them, we've got a couple of them that have gone to the pros. So that's saying a lot for a small post as small as we are.
Oh, yes. Now, you're also involved with some ROTC stuff, you said?
We sponsor the ROTC Medal Program, where we give out ROTC awards for scholastic and military achievement. We do this at all 3 of the public schools, Wilson High School, South Florence High School, and West Florence High School. 2 of them are Air Force ROTC. West Florence is a standard Air Force ROTC unit. Wilson High School is an Air Force ROTC wing. And then we have the Navy ROTC at South Florence High School. All 3 of those awards banquets take place in May of each year. And again, it gives the young people something to strive for because they're taught from the time the school year starts, you keep your academics up, you keep your military achievement up, this is what you've got to strive for. And so we present them with a nice certificate and a medal and a ribbon that they can put on their salad bowl on their uniform. And they can compete for that every year. One of our young men that is actually the son of one of our Legionnaires, he just graduated this year from Wilson, and he's going to the Citadel. Matter of fact, he's there now. So he's real excited about that. But a lot of the young people, when they go through the ROTC program, a lot of them will either go into college and then go into the military, or they'll go on scholarship and they'll go right straight into the military or a military school, such as the Citadel.
Well, I tell you what, it's a really good thing that you're involved with a lot of the youth in the area.
It is.
You know,
It is.
that's definitely, you can't go wrong there.
Yep.
You do so much. Let me look at my list here and see if I got anything that we might have missed here.
Well, we do the Civic Awards
Yep,
banquet.
the civics.
And what that is, this is our way of the veterans giving back to the community. The Civic Awards program is put together, again, it's a Legion-sponsored program by National. And what we do is we issue awards out to the best law enforcement officer of the year, bravery officer of the year, traffic safety officer of the year, fireman of the year, teacher of the year, and then Legionnaire of the year.
Okay.
I work in conjunction with Major Karen Acosta with the Florence PD. She's third in command up there. I work between her and Chief Shells in order to get the selectees back. And then I also work with the chief on Florence Fire Department. And then work with Pamela over at Florence School District 1. And Pamela always gets me a selectee for Teacher of the Year. Now, a majority of our law enforcement officers of the year, whether they've been bravery, traffic safety officer, or law enforcement officer, have gone on to become the state recognized officer for the state of South Carolina in the department.
Okay.
So they actually end up with 2 awards.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And you do a oral tour. How do you say that?
We sponsor a oratorical contest.
Oratorical.
And what this is a speech contest. The young people are given about 3 to 4 months prep time. And what they do is they study the Constitution. And then they come up with a speech to give. And they have to do this from memory. So this gives them an incentive to sit down and say, okay, I've got to memorize what I'm fixing to speak about because I can't have my notes in front of me.
Right.
So they'll compete at the post level, and if they win at the post level, then they go on to the zone level. If they win at the zone level, then they go to the state level. State competition is in Columbia. All the time at each level, they're competing for scholarships. In the past, our oratorical program, first place is paid $1,000. Second place is paid $500, third place is paid $250. The catch is these young people can start at their freshman year, and they can compete for the 4 years that they're in high school. We've had a young lady from Florence Christian that competed 2 years in a row. I've had a couple of people that have competed for 2 years in a row. And we had a young lady from Inman, South Carolina 2 years ago that went all the way to national. The national competition's held in Indianapolis, Indiana. And when she won the national competition, from the post level to the national level, I want to say it was right around $22,000 worth of scholarships she raised. And that was just in 1 year's time.
That's good.
And she was, because of the fact that that was her senior year, she wasn't able to come back and compete. Now, if she'd been a junior, she could have gone back and competed again, in her senior year. So there is nothing to stop them from competing year after year.
So they can constantly build on it. So
They can build on it.
And you said they could start that in what year?
They can start in their freshman year.
In their freshman year in school.
Yeah, and what we do is we don't pay out the scholarship money until they select a college of where they're going to go. And we have an admissions letter from the admissions office stating the fact they have been admitted in. Once we receive that letter, then we write a check to that college for whatever amount that they have built up for their scholarship amount. And that just gets applied towards their education.
That's
But,
good.
it's a good way to help the young people out and to help the families out.
Oh, yes. Everybody never have enough money, believe me.
No.
Not for college anyway.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you do some activities with funerals and stuff like that too, correct?
We do, we work together hand in hand with the American Legion Riders, the Patriot Guard Riders, Rolling Thunder, in doing military funerals. We do a lot of funeral escorts. We also work with the different veterans organizations and drawing them together and doing troop send-off, troop welcome home ceremonies. Just a lot in general with the entire perspective. Now, the program that you were talking about that Carolyn Howard did this year, the memorial ceremony that she wants to institute twice a year, we were also involved in that. We're involved in the Memorial Day ceremony at National Cemetery. Matter of fact, the American Legion provides the cake and coolers of bottled water so people don't fall out on us. We're involved in the Veterans Day program at Veterans Park. We participate in a lot of different area programs.
And you're also a key role player in the Veterans Council.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We are represented right now by myself on the PD Area Veterans Advisory Council. We actually hosted the Homeless Veterans Standout
Right.
for 2011 and 2012. And that was an honor for us as a post to be able to host that. And that again was put together with the help of the council members.
What do you have to do if I want to join the American Legion and become a member? What would I have to do?
Basically, the eligibility criteria is that you must have served during a war era. WW2, Korea, Vietnam, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, the Gulf War, and anything from the Gulf War to present, Iraq, Afghanistan, OIF, OEF. Now, you didn't have to serve in country. You didn't have to serve in a war zone.
Right.
As long as you served during that era
time
on active duty. I've got several members there at the post that served during the Vietnam era, but they were stationed either in Korea or in Japan or in Germany as a support unit. But as long as they served during that era, they're eligible, and they have to have an honorable discharge.
And an honorable discharge.
As long as they got an honorable discharge, we can put them in.
Yeah. Now, do you y'all also rent the post out for if somebody wants to rent the post or anything like that?
Right. We rent the building out for parties, for wedding showers and weddings themselves and banquets and bar mitzvahs. It just depends.
Right.
It depends on what somebody wants to use it for.
And it holds what, 200 people?
It'll hold about 325 people.
325.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there wanting a place, it'll hold that number of people. And to get a hold of you or any of the other people that are on the show, like I said before, you can go to www.florencecountyveteranaffairs.com. It'll have McIntire's number under there, or whoever the commander at the time is will be listed under the veteran resources. It'll also have a calendar there telling you about the events that are coming up with your organization or any other organization that has something that's coming up in the future. Is there anything that we may be missing that we need to get out here?
No. Other than the fact that we also help out with the Reefs Across America program.
Yes.
We also do participate with the Marine Corps League doing the Toys for Tots drive every year. And then basically we just try to help the veterans in the community when we can.
Right.
A lot of times we'll have veterans that'll come to us and say, look, especially those coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, they don't know how to get a claim started. They don't know who to talk to. So a lot of times they'll come to us and we'll put them in touch with your office. And sometimes they just want to talk.
Right.
So.
And if anybody doesn't know how that works, basically what happens is that anyone that has a claim that they're putting in, there's basically two types. You got compensation and you got pension. But we'll mainly talk about compensation. That's when something happened to you when you were on active duty, and we do the paperwork for you to get the VA to recognize that claim. Well, our authority is through the American Legion. That's and other places is DAV and stuff like that. But my office uses the American Legion, and now that these shows are made so we can do this, so we can show you some of the things that the veteran organizations are involved in our community. And as you can tell here today, that the American Legion here, they're involved in a lot of stuff. It's a lot of good stuff. Until I had this job myself, I never knew the things that this community was involved in with the veterans and stuff. So this is another one of the great organizations that we have here that if you are not a member of one, would be a very good one to become a member of. And
we're looking right now, we've got a big membership push and a membership drive going for the younger members.
Right.
If you anywhere from the Gulf War on up, Lebanon, Grenada. I served in Lebanon, Grenada. We've got several members that were in during the Lebanon, Grenada area. We've got several members who were in during the Gulf War. But we're pushing right now to try to get some of the younger members to come in. And there's advantages to being a member of the Legion. One of the things is when you become a member, you're entitled to a free $1,000 insurance policy, accidental death or dismemberment. And it doesn't cost you a dime. And that's just for being a member. If you choose to add insurance, you can. You can purchase additional insurance if you want to. But by being a Legionnaire, there are so many different discounts
Right.
that a Legionnaire is entitled to just for having that membership card.
Having a membership card.
At different businesses, nationwide and even worldwide. Vision care services, insurance, hotels, rental cars, plane tickets, cruises, you name it.
And,
There's a lot involved.
and as we just said, you're very involved in the community.
We are.
You're
We're
very
involved in the
in our
community.
local community.
Right, and we're involved with the veterans. It's not unusual to have, especially the folks coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan, they'll either contact me or one of the other members of the post, and all they want to do is they just want to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
And that is what all of the veterans organizations are big on, is we want to be there for each other.
That's right.
We know how it was when our boys came home from Vietnam. I mean, my older brother was killed in Nam. So, I know what they're going through.
Right.
And I know what these young people that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan are going through. I served over in Beirut during the Lebanese crisis. So a lot of times you need a fellow veteran to talk to, not just a stranger off the street or a next door neighbor. That doesn't really help.
Right. Well, before we get going, let me go over these announcements one more time in case you didn't catch the first of the show. At the fair this year, we're going to have Rolling Thunder. They're also a member of one of the groups that are doing the wreaths. They will be selling the wreaths there for the Wreaths Across America. That's the fair time is the 2nd through the 12th of October. Veterans Day celebration at the Veterans Park on the 11th of November at 11 o'clock.
Get there early.
Get there early. Bring your chairs. Bring your own chairs. Yep. A golf tournament we're going to be having on October the 18th. We're looking for players. We pretty much got the sponsors together. This is going to be held out at Crossing. So if you can get a team of 4 together that you would like to play, this is for our veterans, the homeless veterans, for a place that we have. We're trying to help them out. Dorn Town Hall meeting. The VA is coming to Florence. Out of Columbia. The Columbia Hospital is coming here, and they're going to have a town hall meeting on November the 8th at 11 o'clock at the library. And the DAV van, the mobile van that comes around and does paperwork and stuff for the people that are part of the DAV, like we were talking about earlier, we're with the American Legion, is going to be at the Golden Corral on October the 11th from 9 to 4. With that, I'd like to thank everybody for watching our show today, and thank you for coming on.
Yep,
Appreciate
thank you for the
it.
invitation.
And see you in the future.